Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon from northern Uganda. I'm Nick. I'm Nicholas, Opa's oldest grandson, and it really hurts not to be there with you guys right now. It really hurts. But it's also a massive privilege to be able to speak at the funeral of an amazing man, of our incredible Opa. And I've been thinking, what is it? What is it that made him the incredible life-giving Opa that he was? And there were two things that came to me, two truths that I think Opa knew better than anyone else I know. Two truths that don't just apply to me, they apply to all of us. Truths that have transformed, that have changed my life. I remember coming home from school one day really excited. I was only 12 years old and I just started high school, and I wanted to tell Mum and Dad all about my great day at school. Why was it great? Well, that day I got 93% in my maths test. 93%. But when I came through the front door at home, things got even better. Not only was Mum there and Dad there, but also Opa was there. I had to find a way to tell him as soon as possible that I got 93%. As soon as I came in, he gave me a big hug. Nick, how was school today? Great, Opa. School was great. We got our maths test result today. I had to tell him as soon as I could. Oh, Nick, so, what did you get? Well, Opa, I got 93%. And then got this glint in his eye, and he said, Nick, 93%. Why didn't you get 100? Well, you might think, maybe that's a bit rough. Why couldn't he just be happy with his grandkids' 93%? But when he said that to me, it felt great. It felt amazing. My Opa, my granddad, thinks that I can get 100%. Eeling at Waiнаkarua is one of my favourite things to do in the whole world. It was Opa who taught me. We'd go out in the middle of the night. I'd follow the lumbering figure of Opa through the night, wondering what this night was going to bring. What was the river going to bring us tonight? One night, Opa caught the first eel. He pulled it up, splashing, slashing in the water, dragged it up, way up onto land where it was safe. It wasn't going to get away. And we just stood there, looking at the eel. Opa said, "Ah, she's a beauty, isn't she?" And then he turned to me and he said, "But Nick, there's a bigger one out there for you. Get your rod back in the water." Opa always knew that we, his grandkids, could do better, could do more. He knew the potential we had, and he wasn't scared to tell us. Whatever we were doing, we could do it better. And if we weren't doing it yet, we could do it. And Opa didn't just believe this. He knew it deep in his bones, and he wanted to tell us again and again and again. He knew that what we were was not yet what we could be. What we were was not yet what we could be. Whether it was going from 93% to 100% in exams or catching a bigger fish, Opa knew. He knew that what we are is not yet what we can be. Opa's first truth. Opa and I played golf together, and Opa loved it for a whole lot of reasons. Firstly, he was much better than me at it for the first 10 years we played, and he beat me every single time. Secondly, most importantly, he loved playing at the Everglades golf course. As we moved around the course, he'd tell me about how wonderful everything was. He'd point out a duck's nest in the trees, he'd show me eels and the water hazard, and he'd talk about how lucky we were in this country to have this open air and peace. Nicholas, he'd say, Nicholas, can you believe we're the only ones here in this beautiful place. Every time we played, we'd experience some of the best New Zealand had to offer. But afterwards, we'd go to a completely different environment. We'd walk into the clubhouse, and the first thing you'd see is a big picture of the Dutch Queen, Beatrice, I think, of the Dutch Queen on the wall. And then you'd look around the room and see 30 or 40 Dutch people, Dutchies, crouched over their tables, playing very serious games of bridge and rummy cup. And we all know how much Opar loves to boast about his grandkids, but it's even better when you can do it in Dutch. And he'd walk around the room talking about all his grandkids and all the wonderful things we were doing. Only about half of it was true, but that's beside the point. But the Everglades Golf Course had an amazing mix of New Zealand and Holland. Opar loved it so much. But that's a bit of a sidetrack. What I really want to talk about is the 7th hole of that golf course. The 7th hole of the Everglades is a very special hole. It doesn't matter how many bad shots I played, how many times I hit it over the fence, into the trees, into the water, whatever, whether we got birdies or bogeys, it didn't matter. When we got to the 7th hole, that was the lolly hole. Opar would pull out 1 or 2 or 5 lollies and hand them to me, and he'd say, "Nick, you deserve this. No matter what had happened before that, Nick, you deserve these lollies." It was unconditional lollies from an unconditional Opar. But this unconditional Opar could of course be a nightmare for Mum and Dad when they were trying to punish us. Punishing us at Opar's house was nigh on impossible most of the time. I remember one time I was probably about 8 and I was banished to the far spare room in Opar's house. Must have done something really bad. Can't remember what it was. I was sitting there for what seemed like hours staring at the floor, and then I heard this coming down the hallway, and the door was flung wide open, and there was Opar, looking really concerned and really worried. He said, "Nick, what kind of ice cream do you want?" How can you punish anyone when Opar's like that? But that's Opar's second truth. Unconditional love from an unconditional Opar. Even if I did something wrong, I'd still get an ice cream. Even if I didn't get the 100% Opar wanted, he'd love me exactly the same. If I lost, or if I won the tennis match, Opar would treat me exactly the same. I'd get a big hug and encouraging words. Opar loved us unconditionally, no matter what. Opar's second truth. Now, you might think it's impossible to hold those two truths together at the same time. On one hand, really high hopes and high expectations and wanting you to reach your potential, and on the other hand, unconditional love, no matter what. That's what Opar did. He held those two things together for us. That was what he did. And that's going to stay with me and with so many people for the rest of our lives. On the day of my graduation, Opar came up to me and engulfed me in one of his huge bear hugs, and he was bawling his eyes out. He couldn't keep it together. He was crying so much. And he said, "Nick, I can't believe it. I can't believe it." And then he composed himself, got himself together, and he said, "Nick, I knew you could do it when you were just a little boy." And then he said the most important thing. "Nick, I love you. I love you so, so much." I know you do, Opar. I wouldn't be here if you didn't.